everybody, it's Lacey with the Thompson and Hiller Defense Firm, and I wanted to do a long video today about what is the most common evidence at a trial because as technology progresses, there's a question that I keep getting in conversations with potential clients calling, clients that call, and it is, how can someone say something when there's no proof that they actually saw it, right? So we live in such an advanced time with technology, so we're so used to knowing about body cams. I mean, there's live PD, so there's always video footage of those stops, of those police encounters. So we're so used to that now, and dash cams, and everybody has one of these, right? A cell phone. So everybody's got cell phone recordings and stuff. We live in a time of social media where there's videos and photos on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. So it's getting to a point where I think younger generation, 20s and stuff like that, when they have a pending charge and the evidence is testimony, it's like, wait a minute, how is that evidence? There's no video, there's no photo, there's no recording. And so the main type of evidence in most trials is testimony, what someone saw, what they heard, what they smelled. That is what we are looking at. So with a DUI, we do have videos, but they can still testify to what they smelled, if they smelled an odor of alcohol, so those senses, so people can testify to those things. Now, whether or not someone that takes the stand and testifies is credible or not is up to the finder of fact, which can be the judge or can be a jury. And that just depends on what type of trial that case is going forward on. But just because a video does not exist, a photo does not exist, does not mean that something didn't happen, right? The main example I give when people, pose this question is think about domestic violence. In most domestic violence cases, and it's kind of starting to change there too, I'll say, because we have Ring camera. A lot of people have camera systems inside their home now. So that is starting to change and stuff. But for the most part, as far as domestic violence goes, typically there is just a statement from a victim that something happened, that a crime occurred. And police have to figure out whether or not that is a credible allegation. And there can be some things that corroborate it, right? Marks on someone's face or neck or arms or scratches or anything like that can corroborate a testimony. Or if there are no injuries, if they're saying, they had a gun and they threatened to shoot me, that would be domestic violence, and maybe they corroborate it because there's a gun that she described on the kitchen counter, which is where she said it happened. Or I say she because most of our cases the victim is female, but he or she. So, but most of the time those things are not documented. So let's say that did happen. We have an alleged victim who is a female and that did happen. Well, her testimony is evidence, right? And it could be corroborated, like I said, with what she's saying in her surroundings. Maybe she says she ran and she was knocking furniture over and you see that furniture is in disarray. That's going to corroborate her statement. And if she says all these things and there's no gun found and everything's in tip-top order, those are things the defense attorney can cross-examine her on to say that this never happened, right? But the main point I want to make is what someone saw is the main evidence in most criminal cases. We are not at a point where everything is absolutely filmed and documented, photographs and videos, because we're not all under surveillance 24/7, right? So just because something isn't here or here, like I'm talking to all of you on this recording, doesn't mean evidence doesn't exist. Whether it's strong evidence or weak evidence in what a person is claiming is dependent on other circumstances, right? But that is still the main type of evidence in most criminal cases. So if you have any questions, definitely drop them below on this video. Reach out to us, and if you have a pending criminal matter, reach out and give us a call. Thanks.